Mike, did the NFL have it out for the Oakland Raiders?
Well, yeah, well, they may have it out for Oakland. I mean, you wanted to keep the team for one more year. That's fine. You got 9 weeks between games. But not an easy start to the season for what will be the last season in Oakland, and a lot of expectations with the arrival of Antonio Brown, and even more pressure on Derek Carr, Dan. I think that if this thing doesn't succeed for the Raiders this year, it's not going to be John Gruden's fault. It's not going to be Antonio Brown's fault. It's going to be Derek Carr's fault.
If you're looking at the schedules, there's always quirky things. You talked about how the Raiders going a long period of not playing at home. I think Tampa Bay has that as well. But if I said the easiest schedule, does it always go back to the Patriots because they play in the AFC East?
Well, yeah, but we keep waiting for the other three teams to step up, and one of these years I guess they will. But, look at the Dolphins right out of the gates with a new coach, a team that has not been good. They've got 4 straight playoff opponents from 2018 that they have to try to navigate, and it really is critical to try, with a new coach, to get off to a good start, win some games, develop some confidence. And, that's the thing. No matter what the rest of the schedule is for the Patriots, there's still 6 games being played against these teams in the AFC East that try as they might, just can't compete with the Patriots. And when you look at the Patriots' schedule this year, most of their tough games are at home. And we know that they are a much better team at home than they are on the road.
Also, when the NFL puts out this schedule, how much thought goes into how bad a team was to help them? Because we see this in football more than any other sport, where it feels like the schedule is there to help out the bottom feeders and maybe penalize those who won their division the previous year. Is that a myth or is that fact?
Well, it's a fact, but it's not as significant as it used to be. Once they switched to this current format, Dan, with 8 divisions, 4 teams each, there's only 2 games per year that fluctuate based upon where you finished in your division. Mm-hmm. That's it, 2 games. The other 14 games are set in advance. You can go out years as long as the NFL sticks with the current formula, and you can figure out 14 of 16 opponents for every team. It's those last 2 games that are tied to where you finish in your division. If you're a 4th-place team, you play 2 other 4th-place teams. If you're a 1st-place team, you play 2 other 1st-place teams. And I think it makes it harder for a team that won a division. I don't know that it necessarily makes it easier for a team that came in 4th, but that's it. It's just 2 games. Now, we've seen how teams get bunched together. 1 or 2 games can make all the difference. But it used to be a bigger advantage when there were fewer teams in a different configuration, but now those 2 games are all that you get if you finish in 4th place in a given division.
Why don't they wait until after the draft to release the schedule?
I know there's at least one owner that would very much like to do that. The question is, can they ever cause that to coalesce? It makes sense, because why do you need to know the schedule before the draft? It's like, hey, I faced Patrick Mahomes week 1 instead of week 12. Okay, I'm going to draft a different guy in round 3 because of it. I don't think that's realistic. And from the perspective of locking in where Kyler Murray is going to be, I mean, Arizona becomes a more attractive team for early season scheduling if we know Kyler Murray is going to be their quarterback. So you wait until after the draft. You see what trades may happen during the draft that could change the landscape of the coming season. And with the NFL understanding the value of primetime games that can generate big ratings, can help support the big dollars that are going to come on the next TV contract, I think it just makes sense to have as much information as possible before you put the schedule out there. And it's just a matter of waiting a week or 2 after the draft. And, maybe you have a schedule ready to go and you just make some tweaks based upon what happens in the draft. But I don't see any reason to not do it, and maybe it's a conversation the NFL eventually will have.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.